guys, so today's video is a chit chat get ready with me for my everyday makeup look. There's really not much to say about this look. It's really simple and neutral, so it's really a universal look for absolutely anybody, and it can also be paired with absolutely any lip color because it is a neutral look. So there's really not much to say. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let's get into it. So the first thing I do before applying any foundation or concealers or anything to my skin is apply my primer, and I use two different primers. I use the Maybelline Baby Skin Pore Erasing Primer, and I also use the Rimmel Stay Matte Primer. The Maybelline Baby Skin I always apply to where I have the most noticeable pores, which would be my nose, and yeah, mostly my T-zone area is where I apply this. And I pat it into my skin because I feel like it presses everything into your pores and makes them a lot less noticeable than just rubbing it on. Then I just blend everything out just so that it gives the effect of the blurred pores and you can't really see them. And that, I'm just gonna go ahead and dot this Rimmel Stay Matte Primer all over my face and then just go ahead and blend that in. And I use my fingers for primer just because I feel like it works the best. You don't really need a brush to do primer. So once I've primed my face, I move on to doing my eyebrows, and I'm not going to show you guys the full in-depth routine of my eyebrows because I do plan on doing a in-depth updated eyebrow routine video because I have changed a little bit of what I do. Mostly the products are still the same as my last one, so if you want to check that out, I will link that down below for you. So like I said, recently I've been doing my brows different, so I am just using an e.l.f. quad in the shade Beautiful Browns to fill in my eyebrows, and I've been only using a powder plus a setting spray, and I use just a regular e.l.f. angled brush to do this. So once I finished my eyebrows, I move on to my eyes. I always do my eye makeup before I do anything on my face because if I use eyeshadows or anything that have fallout, it's so much easier to clean up if my foundation and my concealer are not already finished. So even if I'm not applying any eyeshadows, I still use an eyelid primer because my eyelids get kind of oily throughout the day and I feel like a primer kind of decreases the oiliness. So I use the e.l.f. eyelid primer in Pearl. So I'm just going to go ahead and apply this all over my lids. And I always blend out my eye primers with my finger just because I feel like it helps a lot to use the warmth of your finger to blend them. I like this primer because it also gives you a brightening effect to your eyes, so even if you're not using any shadows or anything like that, you're still going to have a brightened effect to your eyes. So I'm just going to apply some of my pressed powder to my lids, and I'm using my ring finger to do that. And you can see what a difference it makes. It just makes your eyes look so much brighter and a little bit more awake. So now I'm just going to do that to my other eye. Once again, I'm going back into this quad that I use to do my eyebrows with, and I've had this for a very long time. As you can see, I've hit pan on two of the shadows in this quad, and it is extremely dirty because it's always in my makeup bag, and it's also broken because I don't know, the screw fell out of the lid. Taking a blending brush, just any old one, I'm using this one from e.l.f. and this quad I'm using the light brown shade. I'm pretty sure this is a matte shade. Yeah, this is a matte shade, and I'm just going to apply this into my crease and blend it out. I'm not using a lot of this at all because I don't want this to be a dark or dramatic look. I just want to give my eyes a little bit more of a color to them. And this is honestly my go-to transition shade when I'm not using the shade that I've been using recently, which is from my Profusion Bare palette. This is the shade that I'm using. And if I feel like I've blended it up a little bit too far or too close to my brow, I just take my finger in between my brow and the shadow and clean it up. Taking a flat eyeshadow brush and my pressed powder, once again, I'm just going to clean up my lids to make this more of a cut crease kind of look, It is not at all a defined cut crease, but I just like the way it looks when it's cleaned up and looks more like a cut crease. And I'm just packing this all over my lid, and I'm keeping it right below my crease. With the same blending brush that I used before, I'm just going to clean up the crease just a little bit, blend it out just a little so that it's not super harsh. And my camera is blinking like it's going to die, so I'm going to have to be right back. So now that I am finished with that, I'm going to apply my liquid liner, and I'm using the e.l.f. liquid liner, and the only liquid liner that I love more than this is the Wet n Wild liquid liner, but for whatever reason I have not repurchased it yet. So this wing actually did not come out too bad. It is kind of small. I might try to extend it, but I don't know. I'm a little bit scared to try to extend it because obviously whenever you try to fix a perfect wing, you mess it up. So this wing actually didn't come out too bad when I tried to extend it. So I'm gonna move on to doing this side. So moving on from that eyeliner, I'm going to find my pencil liner wherever it may be and tightline my upper lash line. Okay, I finally found it. It is a Profusion eyeliner, just a plain black pencil liner, and I'm just going to use this to tightline my upper lash line. So once I've done that, I'm just going to apply a white eyeliner to my lower lashes, and this is just the LA Colors Jumbo Eye Pencil in the shade Seashells, I believe. Yes. So I'm just gonna apply that real quick. Moving on to my face, I've already primed it, as you guys know. And the foundation that I've been loving recently is the CoverGirl True Blend. And I've actually gone through like 2 bottles of this. I used it a very long time ago in previous videos. You can see me using this. This foundation, I am a shade Light 2 Classic Ivory. And I always just apply a couple pumps of it to the back of my hand, and then I work with it. And I feel like applying this foundation with a stippling brush works the best, so I'm just using a stippling brush from e.l.f. And yeah, if you see the end of it here, my cat chewed on it, so that's why it looks like that. A lot of my brushes are either chewed on or broken because they broke, and I'm not buying new brushes. These ones still work just fine, so cat teeth. I just dab my brush in, and then I just go, you know, in one part of my face. I normally apply it all over my face first. And I only apply a little bit to my face at a time so that I can work with it, because this does kind of dry a little bit quickly. So I want to be able to work with it as fast as I can, and it's a very good foundation if you want to build it up. And I'm just applying this in patting, dragging kind of motions. I don't really like to blend out my foundation like in circles because it leaves it really streaky. And I always make sure that I drag it back into my hairline, or it just looks like I'm wearing a mask. And it's not Halloween yet, so I can't wear a mask. I'm just gonna spray my brush with some of the e.l.f. setting spray because I feel like my face is looking just a little bit cakey today. I have no idea why. And this is just going to help thin out my foundation a little bit. When I do my concealer, I just apply it in a triangle shape under my eye, and I just pat it. And I drag it just about all the way back to my hairline. So before I set my foundation and my concealer and all of that, I am going to highlight my face, and I just use this e.l.f. highlighter and concealer stick, And I use the highlighter mostly because the concealer is just a little bit too dark for my skin tone. So yeah, I use the highlighter just as a base for my other highlighter. So I just dab it right there. And I'm gonna highlight my Cupid's bow. And I use the brush that I've used for my concealer and my foundation just to blend this out. And I use the side of it. I don't know, I just feel like using the side of it gives us a more flawless finish to this. So just to go ahead and set everything, I am using my Rimmel Stay Matte Powder, and this is in the shade Buff Beige. I just apply this with an e.l.f. powder brush into my skin because it gives more of a flawless look. For the sake of my under eye concealer, I'm going to take a dome-shaped brush. This is an e.l.f. blush brush, but I use it for several different things, which you're going to see. I use it to set my under eyes, and I'm just using the same powder as before to set my under eyes. The bronzer that I've used and have used for a while is the NYC Smooth Skin Bronzer, and I absolutely love this stuff because it is matte. It does not have any shimmers in it, and obviously I've hit pan on it. Before I contour my face, I apply it just to bronze up my skin just a little bit, and you guys have seen this in videos and nobody has ever pointed it out, but I use a broken powder brush to apply this. This has been broken for quite some time. My cat destroyed it and then the thing just fell off. I use the exact same bronzer that I used to bronze up my face, and by the way, this is in the shade Sunny. I'm gonna use this same bronzer but with an angled bronzing brush, I believe this is. Yeah, this is actually, I'm using this what it's supposed to be used for. And I'm just going to take a little bit of this bronzer on the brush and then contour right here. You should always contour and never extend it further than where your knuckle, take your middle knuckle, put it on your tragus. I don't know if that's what it is, but that's where a tragus piercing goes. Put it there, extend your finger, and that's how far your contour should go. Never, never longer than that. Mine usually is. I just suck in my face like this to make it a lot easier to carve out my cheekbones. Taking that brush that I used to apply, see, it's broken. Taking the brush that I used to apply my powder with, I'm just going to blend this out. When you blend bronzer as a contour or any bronzer at all, you always want to blend it up because it gives the effect of, you know, your cheekbones. And if you blend it down, it's not gonna contour anything. So you blend it up. Now I'm going to contour down the sides and the tip of my nose. And I just do this using a defining eye brush from e.l.f. I usually blend out my nose contour with an eyeshadow blending brush because I feel like this is really good for just getting in there and blending it out, and it's really precise. So I'm just going to go ahead and blend this out. There's absolutely no product on this brush, so I'm just blending out the product that's already on my nose. And there's that. Moving on to my highlighter, like I said, I used the e.l.f. highlighting stick just as a primer for my highlighter. Powder highlighter that I actually use is the Fergie Center Stage Collection Shimmer Palette thing. Yeah, it's a highlighter. And I'm pretty sure this is in the shade Champagne Glow. Okay, it's Rose Champagne Glow is the shade of this. And it just is a perfect highlight shade. It's so pretty. It appears that it'll come off pink, and it will if you use way too much. But if you just use a little bit, it is the perfect powder highlight. And like I said, you guys would be seeing this brush again. This dome-shaped blush brush is the one that I use always for my contour, not my contouring, my highlighting. So I just take the side of the brush and go into my highlighter, pick some up, and then highlight the high points of my face, which would be obviously my cheekbones. I just go ahead and take that brush that I used that I said is perfect for blending out anything, and I just tap it out. I don't really blend it, I just tap it. So I'm just going to curl my lashes. I'm just gonna apply a couple coats of this to my top lashes. And lastly, for my eyes, I am just going to apply my Almay One Coat Dollop Mascara to my lower lashes. And on my lips today, I'm just going to use a L'Oreal Color Riche lipstick in the shade 170 Cotton Pink. So that is it for my everyday makeup routine. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to let me a comment down below and tell me what you thought. Also, don't forget to subscribe because I put up new videos every Sunday and Tuesday. No, Thursday. So yeah, stick around for that. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.